Today I'm going for the Platinum Trophy in Dark Souls 3 after recently having completed the first two, continuing my FromSoft journey in an attempt to platinum difficult games. And as we all know, the Souls games are the most widely recognizable, challenging games in the modern day, at least according to the vast majority of players. And if you're wondering how my video will stand out from the other 800 people who already covered this game, what I plan on doing is going through as much of this game as possible, having what I would like to call the true Souls-like experience. This essentially means that I will not be summoning other players or NPCs to help me during boss fights, and I also won't be using any sort of projectile attacks to help me defeat enemies or bosses either. This is a strictly melee-only playthrough, learning how to fight all of my battles up close and personal in the most balls-out fashion. If you're familiar with these games, you've probably heard once or twice from elitist scum that this is the only way to truly experience these games. And despite being stupendously incorrect about this, I'm gonna show those people that we could disagree on this fact, while at the same time proving to them that I could still play these games their way, but I don't have to if I don't want to, and that's okay too. And so I would create my character and begin my first playthrough. Beat tutorial boss first try or we riot? I'll be honest, if I don't first try them, I'll be a little embarrassed. I know this is my least played Dark Souls, but I still have like 200 hours on it. I'm assuming I'm gonna have to offline it. Can you not be fat? I'd appreciate it. Oh! I didn't first try the Demon Crystal Lizard. Fuck! Damn it! So, I'm pretty sure this game has a thing where... Okay, so you know how in Sekiro, when you're fucking up the boss, he has the meter below his health to, like, get the stagger? Enemies in this game have that, but it's invisible. And you don't get it... Like, in Sekiro, you build that up by parrying. In this game, you just build it up by attacking. So basically, what I'm trying to say is if I hit that lizard enough times, he's gonna, like, stun. And then I get, like, a big finish off of it. The thing is that, like, I believe it's just like Sekiro in the sense that if you're not attacking it, like, see, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. But yeah, if you, like, wait long in between hitting him, like, in between attacks, the meter, like, depletes, meaning your progress to the stun, you lose it. So, like, there was a big gap between my last hit, which means it's gonna take a while to stun again. Oh, never mind. That is still a thing, though. Just because the game made me look like a liar doesn't mean I'm lying. Fuck. He's still alive. Please die. Alright, third time was the charm. After that, I would light the first bonfire, popping a trophy, and jump straight into my first battle against the tutorial boss, Ludex Gundyr. Oh, he punched me. Whoa, the tracking on that. Holy shit. Some of you guys probably think I'm like a goddamn psychopath for not targeting the bosses. Oh, come on. Come on! First try, baby. Upon defeat, I would be awarded 2 trophies. One for defeating the boss, and another for becoming enkindled for the first time. After that, I would find myself in the first real location of the game, the High Tower of Lothric. And what I noticed straight out of the gate is that for the very first area of the game, the enemies here are pretty shockingly intimidating for inexperienced players. And even I wasn't expecting this much of a difficulty spike this early on. Well. Jesus Christ. God damn! Okay. Holy fuck, they don't let you backstab easily in this game. It's so apparent. Like in Dark Souls 1 and 2, backstabbing is so exploitable. Fuck, that should have been a backstab right there, but my footing was very awkward. Like, oh, just from this enemy alone, you could tell, like, what a step up in terms of, like, what makes fighting an enemy difficult. Keeps breaking my guard repeatedly. Never gives me an opportunity to backstab. Yeah, he's just not having it. God damn, dude. What do I even do? I don't know how to fight him. No! Not a 2-on-1, bro! Cool. Oh yeah, I could've went for a parry. I don't think I parried literally once in Dark Souls 2. Pretty sure I platinumed that entire game without going for a single parry. It's funny how just not necessary it is in that game. How do you like that, bubby? I got the schmoves too. Don't you fucking kill me after I did something really cool. God, the parry feels so responsive in this game. This game also usually follows the trend of awarding you with a trophy after the completion of a boss fight. And it was now that I would reach the next boss with Vordt of the Boreal Valley. Is that a hyper beam? Holy shit! I couldn't have run in a worse direction. That really hit me. Oh my! He keeps going for pancakes. Oh! He just keeps doing it. Watch for pancakes. Oh! Pancake! Pancake! He's charging! Ooh. You're done! Just gotta watch for those pancakes. That's all you gotta do, my boy. I actually think this enemy is so cool, from like the unique sounding voice lines to how her attacks look and how she fights. Like, such a cool enemy. She's so unique. Cool enemies aside, it was now that this game would live up to its reputation as the most stressful Dark Souls game to platinum, because the next area would immediately grant you access to a plethora of trophy-related content, such as weapon materials for crafting all forms of infusion, all of which are needed for a trophy. There are trophies for locating every single covenant, one of which can be found in this area and is extremely missable. There are NPCs in the future that will sell you spells, all of which are needed for multiple trophies, for obtaining all spells of every type throughout the game. And what is, in my opinion, the most stressful trophy in the game, that is astonishingly easy to miss, is for collecting all of the available gestures. Many of the gestures are locked behind NPC encounters or quest lines, and are therefore highly missable, as if you forget to exhaust all of an NPC's dialogue, or somehow manage to get them killed, or fuck up the sequence in their quest line somehow, this will lock you out of their rewards for the playthrough. And what is arguably the most tedious trophy in the game is for collecting every obtainable ring throughout the game. And some of these rings are not easy. You know how it's almost never in your best interest to kill an NPC? Like this friendly giant, for example. Yeah, he drops a ring, and unless you looked it up, you probably would have went the entire playthrough without ever even knowing that you had to kill this guy for it. Fun, right? Some of these rings be that sneaky about it. All of these things I just listed have to be meticulously planned out, starting now. Because if you're not paying attention, you could lock yourself out of so many of these things. And so I would have the Dark Souls 3 wiki with as many as 10 different tabs open on my browser at all times, carefully studying NPC quest lines, rewards, as well as any and all forms of missable valuable loot. And this is exactly why this game becomes a logistical nightmare, as no other Souls game in the franchise has this many fuck-upable trophy-related things. And this is why Dark Souls 3 is easily the worst FromSoft game to platinum. Oh, and I haven't even started talking about the RNG low drop rate items I would have to farm for the different covenants that span several hours of grinding. But don't worry, we'll get to that hellscape later on. I beelined for the undead bone shard. We're golden! Oh god. No! Yeah! Oof. Don't worry about that. Everything's fine. Holy shit! Oh, I forgot he throws it at you. That shit looks epic. Take this bull of shit. Oh, fuck! I might have to just... You know what? No, I'm gunning it. Oh my... Fuck off! You're making me emotional! You're making me emotional! And so, once I was confident enough that I had obtained everything that there was to get related to a trophy, I would now be free to take down the area boss, the Cursed Rotted Greatwood, which would also earn my next trophy. Holy shit, I thought I was eating shit there. No way! I saw that shit coming. I don't know how I didn't dodge it. Like, the hitbox on that is outrageous. I don't use that word lightly, Chad. I literally needed one hit. Got him. Woo! And in typical Dark Souls fashion, we will want to hold on to all of the boss souls instead of consuming them, because we will need them in order to craft rings, since all rings are needed for a trophy. And the madness doesn't stop there, because there are also 3 trophies for unlocking each of the 3 obtainable endings. And for my first playthrough, I decided to knock out the most convoluted one. And it all starts with this guy.
The champion of Ash, as I live and breathe.
You see, when you die, this guy will give you a level up for free, which is not only nice as fuck, but it's also required to unlock the Usurpation of Fire ending. And so each time I would accept a free level up, I would have to continue dying until he offered me another one. And you could level up like this up to 5 times in total. Once you've gotten killed enough times, Yhorm will now have served his purpose, and now he's sleeping. But on the bright side, he is now replaced by Yuria, and she is very important towards the ending I want, but more on that later. Eventually, I would happen upon an extremely important NPC named Anri, and she was also deeply connected to the ending that I'm trying to get. And so it was imperative that I make sure I don't fuck up her questline, which, as you might have guessed, is extremely easy to do. And this would also trigger another NPC to show up back at Firelink Shrine, who also has easily missable trophy-related content. Is this shit starting to sound stressful to you guys yet? I sure hope so. It was at this point that I was so afraid of potentially fucking up a missable that I didn't even want to turn the game on anymore. Speaking of NPCs, this dickhead sells me a shit ton of spells that I would need for a trophy, but you only have access to his inventory if your intelligence is 10 or higher. And of course, I wasn't thinking about this at all when I created my character, and so I was short by 2 points. Bummer! So yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit this NPC after obtaining the necessary funds. And since I desperately needed money, defeating the boss for my next trophy seemed like the next logical step. Alright, let's go. So the whole shtick with this boss is that we're gonna start seeing multiples of them, and you wanna look for the purple attacks. That's how you know it's the real one. I'm surprised this one's not disappearing. Am I like stunning her into staying longer? But yeah, there should be a bunch of them now. Some of them are fake. Once you see the purple attacks, though, you know... Ow! Oh, interesting. Use cover. What the shit? Come on! Oh, great. I got trapped in the fucking wall. Cool. Fuck off. Are you shitting me? What is happening right now? I'm getting, like, absolutely just comboed to death. What is going on? Let me heal safely! Like, please! I beg you, please. Well, that was annoying. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Come on. 1 down. 2 down. 3 down. Can you please stop doing that, please? What is happening? What is happening? Drink again? No! Ugh. Please! Woo! Alright, now that I had attained the sufficient funds, while making my way back to the NPC that I had missed, I would be thrown into an unexpected session of PvP. And although PvP is not at all required for any trophies in this game, I thought you guys would still be interested to see how it played out. If you heal, you're a pussy, and I consider that you already lost. Oh, that was clever. Shit. Oh, wow, what the fuck was that? I was like stun locked, it wouldn't let me out of it. Next on the to-do list was the Cathedral of the Depths, and it certainly wasn't uneventful. Oh god. It's an ambush! Feels like I'm playing Scholar of the First Sin all over again. Yippee! Get out of here. Oh, am I gonna die? No! I really don't want to use my last flask this way, man. No! Son of a bitch. We're running now, Chad. I don't give a fuck. I'm missing loot, but it's okay. Just keep going. Come on! Do I have iframes when I do this? Oh, thank God. I got hella iframes, bro. Let me go! No! I died because I greeded out. No! No! After my long history of playing difficult games, I've learned that greeding out, way more often than not, doesn't pay off. Dude! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Relax, I'm just panicking for content. I'm not actually worried. Fuck. I might be dead. And of course, I would learn that there are important NPC quest lines in this area that need to be carefully followed. They mainly have to do with a familiar face that I'm sure you will all recognize. This quest line is unfortunately pretty annoying, because I will have to buy back Sigvud's armor and return it to him, which seems like a total fucking waste of money, especially because if you just off Patches, he drops the armor. So why not just get it for free? But Patches is holding a gesture hostage, which is also needed for platinum, and I can't very well get it if he's dead. So as much as I'd love to kill him, I can't. And so I get to waste more of my hard-earned cash to help out Sigvud. And yes, this is all necessary in order to platinum. But more on that later as Sigvud's questline continues. After all that bullshit, it was time to finish off this area with a boss fight for my next trophy, the Deacons of the Deep. They're deaking, Chad. Oh, you gotta hide in the crowd like that, like a little bitch. Look, he's cowering in fear. Look, he's fucking walking further away. I hate that he does that. That's some bullshit. You had to... Oh, shit. The scarier Deacon. Oh, my... Woo! Oh, shit. What the hell's going on? Can you not? Don't do that. I don't know what happens when that curse goes all the way up. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my. Stop doing that. The whole fucking crowd is doing it. Oh, wow. So when they finish cursing, you insta-die. Okay. Let me hit him! No! Oh, all right, we're good. Deacons of the Deep. Making my way to the next location, I would happen upon an enemy using an interesting looking weapon. And as luck would have it, I already had the stats to wield it. And so I thought, why not? I would end up using this weapon for the foreseeable future, making it my weapon of choice for the Supreme Weapon Reinforcement Trophy to fully upgrade a weapon. And so I would dump all of the materials I had collected thus far straight into it, granting me access to maximum damage. Progressing through the next area, I would earn a trophy for finding the next available covenant. And it was now that I would experience a clusterfuck of bullshit. You see, I was already prepared to take down the area boss and be done with this godforsaken swamp. However, in doing so, I had almost unknowingly missed some very important trophy-related stuff. You see, there's a gesture locked behind an NPC. This guy. And upon summoning him, this will award me with the gesture. And if I hadn't defeated the boss before doing this, I would have missed it. On top of that, there was also this guy named Yellowfinger. And I would have to defeat him 2 times in order to make his summon sign appear, so that I could get his gesture. How? No way. No way. Thank you. Oh my. Look how much health I lived with. But the problem was, where his summon sign was supposed to be, for some reason, it wasn't. After doing some research, it turns out that you could only summon Yellowfinger if you've started ranking up the Rosario's Fingers Covenant. Upon achieving this worked like a charm, and Yellowfinger appeared without issue, allowing me to get the gesture. There is, however, a penalty for doing this, as this will instantly fail Cirrus's questline, which locks me out of one of the available rings I need for the trophy. And so this totally blows, because these 2 separate trophy-related events conflict with each other and lock you out of whichever one you don't choose, making it impossible to do both on your first playthrough. Shitty! But with all of that nonsense out of the way, I was finally free to take down the area boss for my next trophy, the Abyss Watchers. That is, oh my god. I'm not even mad at the boss, I'm just cringing at myself, to be honest. Alright, I'm noticing you're only really allowed to get away with like 1 to 2 hits. You need to very quickly react to like when he gets stunned and when he's no longer stunned. You have to react to it like literally immediately. Like, he's stunned, I can get another. Now he's not stunned, back off. Like, I need to recognize those moments immediately. He flinched, he didn't flinch, back off. Oh, he flinched again, nice, that was beautiful. Oh my. That was close, he almost won. He might still, if I shit the bed again. Nah, just kidding. Wards of Cinder, Abyss Watchers. Next on the to-do list was the Catacombs, and this area sucked ass. Stop it. Oh my. Oh, wait. Stop. Let me breathe. Oh my god. Carthus milk ring. Okay. I didn't know it would trigger again. The fucking twaps in this place are crispy. Did you have to live with one? Let me hit you, please! No. Oh my, Jesus! Oh, they go through the wall? What kind of satanic shit? I'm gonna die. I can't. These pot throwers, oh my god. They are so awful. Am I dead? Oh god. Wow, I remember this place being horrible, but holy shit. No! I'm so fucking dead. Wow, this place is fucking evil. Oh no. No. I didn't mean to. At least I didn't lose my money. Carthus blood ring. The shit I do for this platinum and these fucking rings that I need for a trophy. Oh my god!
Let me out, please! Might I have a moment of reprieve, please?
I remembered that there was an ember there. No! Huh? Oh. What the fuck? I'm like, what's that noise? Oh god. Jesus Christ. Henry. I need help. Henry. I need some help. Henry. Please help. Woman. I'm in danger. Oh. No. They're taking me to the bone zone. I survived. No thanks to you!
Oh, hello.
Yes, hello. Fancy meeting you here. Once the game decided I had suffered enough, it was time to earn my next trophy by defeating the area boss, High Lord Wolnir. The fucking jump scare, dude. And seeing how this is a gimmick fight, I accomplished this pretty easily. Hey, sir, I need your hand. Thank you. Well, that was easy. Yippee! High Lord Wolnir. The next location after that was the Demon Ruins. And this place had its fair share of frustrating shit to deal with. But eventually I did manage to make it to the boss. And the fight against him wasn't nearly as tough as it was getting to him. And thankfully I was able to beat him on my first try, earning me my next trophy. The area immediately following the Demon Ruins would be a different story. On top of the enemies here being a pain in the ass, there are also a couple of very important quest lines that I would need to continue for trophy-related loot, as well as progress towards the ending I was trying to get. Once all that was out of the way, you know the drill. It was now time to take down the area boss, or at least attempt to. Because much to my surprise, not only was this the most difficult boss I had faced yet, but he is also, in my opinion, one of the most difficult bosses in the game. Alright, let's do it, my boy. Fuck. Fuck. Piss off! Round 2. Fight! Like, okay, fucking, this boss has no chill, and he could close the gap in 1 second. When are your opportunities to heal? You could parry him? Well, it's looking like I'm gonna have to do that. I don't see how else you're even supposed to fucking fight him if you don't do that. This guy is so fucking annoying. He always has to shave off a bit of health before I get in the damn door. Oh, that was shit. Oh my fucking god, dude. Bitch. Wow, I fucked him up. How was that not a parry, bro? I feel so cheated. Oh my god, I finally didn't get hit on my way up to the boss. Oh my god. Like, if you make one mistake and now all of a sudden I'm in a position where I'm like, oh, I want to heal, I need to get away from him. Nope. No! Try to get away from this man, he's like, hi, how you doing? Bitch! What the fuck is he doing? Oh, what? Oh, I forgot about this shit. Oh, wait, huh? You know, the clone's spooky, but he's so much more chill when it's out. You fuck! You couldn't just let me! I wanted him to chill out
For just a second!
Again, when the clone's out, I notice he's so much more chill, like way less up your ass. And when I killed the clone, I probably fucked myself. I
hate you a lot.
Ew, I fucked up the easy counter! Oh my no! I want to die when I miss that parry, dude. I know, my problem is I'm doing it too early. That enemy is so goddamn rage-inducing. The fact that I almost lost my fucking shit just now. He has no chill. Is it? Oh, I never even seen that attack before. I didn't know what to expect. I think I should just detach myself from the desire to want to heal. He refuses to give you those opportunities. You're lucky if you get them. It might be more efficient to just focus on locking the fuck in. And even if I am one-shottable, who cares? Just like, if you get a good parry, it won't matter. It's fucking taking everything for me to not get mad about that. Oh my god. I don't even want to fight him now. If I miss that first parry, like, fucking go next, dude. I don't give a shit. As you can see, this boss is the personification of aggression. And I'm honestly shocked they make you fight a boss of this caliber this early into the playthrough. Because quite frankly, the difficulty spike here was staggering. Obviously, this fight would have been made a whole lot easier if I summoned the NPC that was available just outside the boss room, but that would have broken the rules of my challenge. I want to beat all the bosses solo, but this boss was genuinely tough. And ultimately, the deciding factor here was quite simply my damage output, because I was able to deal a metric shit ton of it. And honestly, thank God, because if this boss had a bigger health pool, this fight would be insanely challenging. And upon his defeat, this would award me with a hard-earned trophy. And fun fact, spoiler alert, I don't think a single other boss in the game killed me as many times as this one. And I only say that because I think that's really interesting, and definitely a testament to this boss. With the boss defeated, I would now have access to a brand new Covenant, as well as the next big boss fight almost immediately after. But before before taking him down, more importantly, it was now that I was able to seal the deal on the ending that I had been pursuing. And after successfully progressing Anri's questline, I would now be able to marry the shit out of her. We were now bonded by matrimony, and this would pretty much conclude all of the requirements for the ending. Now I just had to beat the game, which means this guy needed to die. There he is. The man of the... Yeah, this boss may have shit on me in the opening act, but honestly, this boss is, for the most part, a pushover. And I would shit down his throat on my next attempt. Yeah, that boss was fucking garbaggio, dude. What, dude? Next on the list was the Yhorm Dungeon. I hope I'm saying that right. And multiple people in my live stream chat were saying that this was one of the contenders for worst areas in the franchise. And so that being said, this was how my experience went. That scared the shit out of me. Holy fuck, that was obnoxious. That fucking made me mad, dude. That made me upsetty spaghetti. No, you fucking bitch. I'm sure that's the last time we'll hear that noise, right, chat? That actually reminded me of the bears in Skyrim. They're so much obnoxiously louder than anything else in the game. Like, bears were everywhere in that game. I want to play the game? Hello? Coming for that ass, bitch. Well, he's upstairs now, I guess. So far, the only thing I hate about this area is the fucking audio. The sounds all the enemies are making and shit. Like, even right now, like, that fucking thing better shut the fuck up! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, fuck. Aw, yeah, literal feces! We got some feces! No, not my health. Oh no, my dream, my life. Look, this guy forgot all about me, fucking idiot. What, you think all your problems are gonna go away if you just forget about them? What are you, some kind of completely normal person? Fucking kill me, bro. I think that makes top 5 most obnoxious sounds I've ever heard. Yeah, it's pretty up there for me, too. Closing out the Yhorm Dungeon, I had recruited another NPC that was needed for Platinum, but more on that later, and that was that. Completing the dungeon would lead straight into the next area, the Profaned Capital. And honestly, I didn't have much trouble with either one of these locations. I kind of smoked them both without issue. I don't have to fight you, but I'm going to. Why? Because I'm a man. That's why. No, don't knock me off! So you didn't technically make a mistake. Oh shit, I didn't think he'd wake up. No, they both woke up! No, I'm not fighting both of you at the same time. You could kiss my ass. You could kiss my... Wait, what if they drop items though? Ow! Bitch! Oh yeah, my boy. Oh yeah. Fuck you. Faces. And faces. Wakey, wakey, motherfucker. What a silly enemy. He doesn't know what to do when you're behind him. Faces. Oh, yeah. What? Huh? What the fuck? Where'd these guys come from? I'll do it. No! No! Now, you'll notice that once I get to the area boss, I did have an NPC with me. And obviously this kinda goes against my conditions for not getting help from summons or NPCs. But I can promise you that even if this NPC wasn't here, that this fight would still be a joke. Because it's a gimmick fight. Basically, there's a special sword that you could find in the boss room, and if you use it on the boss, it absolutely fucks him up. And doing this with or without an NPC around is still laughably challenge-free. Here's some footage of me doing it solo on New Game Plus without issue. Once he was defeated, I had suddenly realized that there was a covenant I had totally forgot to snag a ways back, and I decided to go back for it.
Ring of favor.
That's why you gotta be really careful in this game with, like, ignoring enemies. Because there are just random enemies that have really important things you need for platinum, and there's, like, no way to know that they would even have it unless you looked up a guide. Alright, it's Covenant time, baby. Aldrich Faithful. Once I had scooped that up, it was back to the path forward, which was blocked by this NPC, who would give me the last covenant that I needed that I hilariously forgot to grab at the very start of the game. But that was all covenants in hand. And now, of course, it was time for one of my favorite boss fights in the franchise, the Dancer. I absolutely love this boss fight. Everything from how unsettlishly freaky the boss looks, with their elongated limbs, to their mesmerizing and elegant movements. And of course, the music is one of the best as well, as it is just so atmospheric and encompasses just how intimidated you should feel in this boss's presence. I don't know, just this boss fight really stood out to me, and I absolutely love this one. This was one of the very best the series had to offer, in my opinion. Oh, I just wanted to... Oh, God. I wanted to end the fight, man. God dang it. Gotcha! I was really hoping she'd stagger from that hit, too. Thank God. Naturally, the third time was the charm. And with that came my next trophy. And hilariously enough, there's a boss fight almost immediately after this one. Although significantly less of a challenge. At least for me. Honestly, there's not much to say. I just kind of went caveman until he eventually died. And of course, defeating the boss would net me another trophy. Well, that was a boss. God damn! This would also segue straight into the next one for discovering the hidden location, the Untended Graves. And surprising no one, this area would also harbor yet another boss fight with a much harder version of the tutorial boss. And despite that fact, I was still able to first try him, which was pretty cool. Speaking of cool, look at that. Another trophy. And at this point, there was nowhere left to go but forward on to Lothric Castle. My run through of this place was nothing special, although there was this funny business that happened. Yeah, isn't the bonfire around here? Oh no, it's just a shortcut, I think. Jesus Christ, he almost got in here. Yo, what the fuck? No, dude! Bam! That's all gestures, baby. Yay! Beyond that, I had made it to the boss without too much resistance. And although he did catch me slipping on round 1, I did manage to pull it together and do the damn thing on round 2. There's not much to say about this boss, honestly. He's a pretty standard generic boss. And so I would take my trophy and move on. And I kind of clapped him without too much issue. Now, I hadn't talked about these trophies until now, mostly because they're not very interesting. But there are 2 trophies related to the Estus Flask. One for fully upgrading it, and another for unlocking the total usable amount of flasks. And it was at this point of the game where I finally had access to all of the materials necessary to accomplish both these things And that was that. My next objective would be to take down the fourth and final Lord of Cinder, the Lothric Princes. And this would end up being truly one of the most difficult boss fights in the entire game, because the struggle on this one was real. So, if this guy can be parried, I think I'm gonna want to go that route, because he attacks very fucking relentlessly. Like, he doesn't stop. How come I'm not allowed to crit him? Like, I did parry him, but then what? There's no, like, crit animation. What the fuck, dude? This guy's so tricky. No way that hit me, dude. I think I prefer... I'm stuck on a fucking candelabra. Oh, shit. Okay, whatever. I'm getting more comfortable. Look at the bright side. I'm getting more comfortable. Doing this boss without lock on is nutty with the teleporting. Yeah, I should probably be locking on to him, huh? But I don't like lock on, and everyone who watches me play knows I'm allergic to it. Oh. How do you like that, my boy? Whoa, he recovers fast. Bitch. Yeah, dodging's definitely the way to go. Fuck parrying. Oh, I'm dead. Fuck.
Oh, dear brother.
Oh my, I missed the fucking... Oh no.
But you may rest.
Well done. This boss is hard, but he's fun. I know that every mistake is my own, and if I just stop making mistakes, I'll clap him. Oh, come on. He's got to be... Yep, I knew it. I knew it! You fuck. Oh, no. Run! Oh, shit. Where is he? Woo! Ow! This fight was definitely tough, but holy shit did I have a blast. This fight is the perfect blend of challenge meets fun. And learning the timings of how to punish the boss and when he was open was just so satisfying. I absolutely fell in love with this boss fight, and it just might be one of my very top favorites in the franchise. What a fantastic boss. Bravo. Now, with all of the Lords of Cinder defeated, I could now make my way to the final boss and finish the game whenever I wanted. But that was gonna have to wait because there is another hidden location that we could now access called Archdragon Peak. And reaching this place would grant me a trophy. But that wasn't all. In fact, there are a couple boss fights exclusive to this area. And it was at this point that I had decided that now would be a good time to fully upgrade the weapon I was using at last. I actually could have done this a while ago, but I still wasn't quite sure how I wanted to use my materials. And obviously you could see I was doing just fine without it. But at this point it felt like there was no reason not to fully upgrade it. And so with that, I finally got my trophy. The first boss of this area is the ancient Wyvern. And you'll notice that despite my new fully upgraded weapon, I was tickling battling the boss. And that's because this is yet another gimmick fight. The gimmick being that you follow the path ignoring all of the enemies along the way until you are in position to execute a falling attack on the boss, thus one-shotting him in the process. Easy peasy. Although the rest of the level going forward wasn't so easy. But it was at this point that I was completely out of patience for this shit. I just wanted to be done with this area, beat the game, and move on. And so I started just ignoring all the enemies and beelining to my next boss fight, the Nameless King. This boss is pretty famous for being one of the most feared in the entire game. I went into this fight knowing that he had this reputation, and I was fully prepared for a battle of trial and error that would likely result in many of my deaths. And then this happened. I didn't think I was gonna first try his punk ass. Man, look at that punk ass thinking he's the shit.
That's the Exile Greatsword for you, and that's what chat has always gotta say. Oh my god, he first tried the boss? It's gotta be his weapon. It's the only reason. Otherwise, he would have never pulled that off.
With the Nameless King defeated somewhat comedically, it was now that I could finally finish the game by defeating the final boss, the Lord of Cinder. He ended up taking round 1 before I was even able to phase him. Although unfortunately for him, I was able to lock the fuck in and clown on him during my second attempt rather convincingly. And with that, the final boss had been defeated. And it was now that I would finally pop the trophy for successfully setting up the Usurpation of Fire ending, thus completing my first playthrough. Now normally this would be right around the time that I would be jumping into New Game Plus, but I had other plans. For you see, I've never seen or personally experienced any of the DLC for this game. It was completely brand new content for me. And not only that, but according to my livestream chat, the DLC was home to some of the most difficult bosses that could be found throughout the game. Now, just to clarify, none of the DLC in this game is required in order to platinum. Hell, the DLC doesn't even have its own trophies. But despite this, I felt that I just have to show the people on YouTube that if the DLC was required, that it was still within my ability to overcome it. And so I would journey into the DLC areas, hoping for an honest-to-God challenge, hunting any boss fights I could find. Oh, come on, what the... what the fuck? Oh, what is going on? Jesus! Whoa! Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck? Oh, come on! No! Oh, God. Not even close, baby. Oh. Ah. Wow, that did a lot of damage. What the heck? She now has my utmost respect. And therefore, I shouldn't die to her again. Okay, don't go in unless you're full health. Maximum respect. Dodge this, go for a hit. Maximum respect, completely piss off, and just fight her like that the whole time. Wait for opening, go in. The flasks are gonna make that pretty annoying. Maximum respect. Surely she'll run out of flasks. Yeah, okay. Maximum respect? Respect her? Maximum. To the maximum degree. She can't win if you just respect the shit out of her. The way to win, to beat her, is to say, holy shit, you're too good, I can't win, and then I win. As you can see, the DLC was rolling out the red carpet and throwing everything it had at me. Which was pretty thrilling, to be honest, and I was enjoying myself quite a bit. And it didn't take long for me to stumble into the first boss fight of the area with the Demon Prince. Wasn't expecting a boss fight, I'll be honest. Fighting two bosses at the same time is always nerve-wracking, but my positioning here was nearly flawless, and they were never able to overwhelm me, and so I was able to beat them on my first try.
He's about to stagger, I can feel it. No, he ran away like a bitch.
But little did I know this was only phase 1, and a much harder version of the demon would rise again with a vengeance. As stressful as this was, I continued to play with a completely level head, and surprisingly I was able to beat phase 2 on my first try, and I was rather impressed with myself, because I had never fought or even seen this boss before, and to do it on my first try felt amazing. And with the first boss fight behind me, it was time to dive further into the DLC.
That would have been impressive if not for the Exile Greatsword. Unfortunate. God dang it! Oh, that doesn't... Welcome to the Ring City, motherfucker. Ah, shit.
Now, I hadn't mentioned this until now, but one of the main reasons for me exploring this DLC was to get my hands on some loot. More specifically, the +3 gold covetous serpent ring, as well as a weapon that I thought looked extremely cool, that I just really wanted to use for the rest of my platinum journey. Once I had obtained these things, I would now be taking a long break from the DLC in order to tackle what is easily the worst part of earning the platinum trophy, the Covenant grinding. You see, when it comes to the trophies for obtaining all spells, as well as all of the rings, some of these things are locked behind covenants as rank rewards. And so I would have to rank up several covenants in order to claim all of the rewards that are needed for the platinum trophy. Ranking up these covenants, however, will require some extremely rare item drops from specific enemies that we will have to kill for many, many hours. This is by far the most tedious part of the platinum, because the drop rates for these items are egregious. This is why I wanted that ring from the DLC, because doing this will require as much gear that provides you with item discovery as possible. Now, there is arguably an easier way to get these items, by playing online with other players. But this involves PvP, and not only will this not appeal to a lot of players, but it's just a fact that the online will not be a thing forever. Eventually, there will come a day where farming the enemies will be the only way to obtain the platinum. And so for this reason, I'd rather showcase the offline method to truly show you just how miserable this grind can be. I want to say overall, to collect everything that I needed for all covenants probably took roughly around 10 hours or so. And this might sound insane to some people, but this grind really can be that bad. Chances are you've probably heard of the dreaded Proof of Concord Kept. This is the item people famously bitch about for being so hard to get, and yes, their bitching is 100% justified, and getting 30 of this item was terrible. But personally, I found collecting the 30 vertebra shackles to be significantly worse. Obviously, everyone's experience is going to be a little different, but this in particular was peak misery for me, and took me around 4 hours just for this item alone. The weird thing is that it wasn't taking that long for this item to drop for me at first, right up until the point where I had collected around 12 of them. It was then that this item decided to go extinct. And I swear I had farmed for over an hour straight without seeing a single shackle drop for me at all. When this happened, I couldn't help but question it. Why was it even possible for this to happen? I definitely should have seen one by now. And this can't be right. Because I was so convinced that something was wrong, I decided to research this phenomena as much as possible. And I came across this really interesting Reddit post of a guy explaining how he got this item to drop for him fairly consistently. When I read his instructions, it honestly sounded like a bunch of bullshit. But by this point, I was out of options and wanting to rip my hair out. And so I decided to give it a shot. And the really weird thing is that it started working. and all of a sudden I was receiving a lot more vertebra shackles consistently right up until the point that I had collected all 30 of them. And this didn't seem like a coincidence. To this day, I honestly have no idea if RNG manipulation is truly a thing in this game. But after my experience, it certainly seems like it. And if anyone is planning on attempting this grind in the future, I'll link the Reddit post in the description so that you can check it out for yourself. And so, after pissing away basically an entire day grinding these shitty fucking items, I had finally collected everything that I needed, and I could now obtain all of my trophy-related loot at long last. With the massive Covenant grind out of the way, I would now return to my DLC adventures. The first DLC was very short, as I had reached the big boss fight very quickly, but what I didn't know is that I was in for a spectacle.
Oh, her weapon looks like it's fun to use if you make it. Oh, she has fucking the invisibility, just like Priscilla. That's cool. Where's her footprint? Oh, shit! Okay, that was cool. Don't you...
This was easily one of the most grandiose and exciting boss fights in the entire franchise. And unbelievably, I did end up beating this boss on my first try. It didn't help that my 10-hour Covenant grind gave me enough money to level up nearly 100 times. Because of this, I felt extremely overpowered. Being able to deal half of the boss's health with just one combo. Much to my surprise, however, this is the only boss fight in the entire game that has 3 phases.
What the fuck? Oh my god! No way! This boss is so cool, dude. Okay, instead of trying to heal, I think I should just focus on finishing her off. Do not fucking die, dude.
But as terrifying as this was, I was still able to smash this fight more or less. Still, what an amazing boss battle, and this was easily one of the coolest fights I've seen in the entire franchise. Exploring more of the second DLC, I had finally reached the boss fight that is considered by many to be the most difficult boss in the entire game, Slave Knight Gael.
Alright, I get the sense you're no pushover. So I'm not gonna throw caution to the wind. I had a feeling that was a nuke, but I got no blast. What do you want? Oh, come on. That's really annoying. Stop doing this. No! No! Oh, he's nuking. He's nuking. Whoa! I couldn't see him through the skulls, bro. Oh, come on! Wow, that was extremely irritating. Is it weird that I low-key hate his phase 1 more? I'm nowhere near as comfortable with it. The timing on everything is different. Oh my god. Nah, just go next. Using 5 flasks on phase 1, that to me is like pitiful.
Ultimately, I can see why he is considered to be the most difficult boss, because he pretty much is. He becomes especially tricky to deal with during Phase 2, whenever he takes a swing at you and you dodge the attack, but he hits you anyway, which happens a lot. It definitely took a minute for me to figure this one out, and there was certainly some trial and error before I was able to get comfortable with him. But finally being able to defeat him didn't take me that long. It's really interesting because out of the 3 Dark Souls games, the boss that I spent the most amount of time on was actually Manus back in Dark Souls 1. And no other boss in the trilogy gave me as much trouble as he did, which I found pretty interesting. Either way, Gael was still pretty tough, but I was able to beat him all the same. There was one other boss that my livestream chat kept warning me about as being pretty difficult, and that was the dragon Midir. My first attempt against this boss was basically just spent learning his entire moveset. Before knowing exactly what he could do, I ate a lot of hits, and I ended up going through all of my flasks, and so he did outlast me. But on the upside, I was confident that I knew everything he could do by the end of my first attempt, and coincidentally, I was able to beat him on my second try. This fight was pretty long, as he has a shit ton of health, which is pretty annoying, but thankfully I was able to stagger him, which really sped up the process of killing him, and that was that. There were a couple other boss fights throughout the DLC, but I beat them so easily that they didn't seem worth showcasing, and so I didn't bother, but that was essentially the DLC in a nutshell. Now, before starting my next playthrough, I made sure that I had every available spell that could be purchased from the NPCs, as well as every obtainable ring that could be found throughout the playthrough. After double checking to make sure I hadn't missed anything, the last thing I did before moving on was pop the trophy for crafting all available fusions over at the blacksmith. And with that out of the way, I was finally ready to start my next run. Now, as I always point out in typical Dark Souls fashion, on New Game Plus, the bosses receive an upgrade to their health and damage output to compensate for your increase in strength. And yet, as was the case with the first two games, none of the bosses on New Game Plus gave me any real trouble, and I beat almost all of them on my first or second try. Once you know the boss's behavior, there's no reason why you can't just smoke them again. And that's exactly what I did, steamrolling my way through my second playthrough. Once I had defeated enough bosses, I was able to use their souls in order to craft the last few spells in the game that I still needed for their respective trophies. And it was now that I was able to pop all three for obtaining every spell in the game. Now, the main reason for this playthrough was to get one of the other available endings. More specifically, I was going for the End of Fire, which required me to find the Firekeeper's eyes and give them back to her. And this was simple enough. Besides that, my playthrough was spent obtaining all of the new rings that could be found, of which there were 21 in total. I would also need to go back and finish Cirrus's quest line, as I wasn't able to during my first playthrough, and doing so would reward me with a ring, and this is the only way to get it, so this had to be done. As for the rest of the rings, I was able to find them all without issue, and proceed to clear the run and obtain the next available ending, thus earning my next trophy. And I would now have to beat the game once again to obtain the third and final unlockable ending, while also hunting down all of the new rings that spawned once again, of which there were 16. Probably the most annoying thing about this is that one of the last rings was locked behind the Nameless King boss fight, which meant that I would have to put him down again. Except this time, being on New Game Plus, he wouldn't go down nearly as easy as the first time, and he made me work for it. This was closer to the experience I expected to have during my first playthrough, and this boss was much more of a challenge this time around. But still, I was eventually able to beat him and claim my ring. And once I had found all the new rings exclusive to this playthrough, the trophy for finding all rings finally popped, and that was that. All that was left to do was beat the game for the third time, unlocking the last ending that I needed for my final trophy, and that was the Platinum Trophy for Dark Souls 3. So was it worth it? Well, 3 playthroughs is pretty damn tedious, and the Covenant grind was downright soul-destroying, as it took an unacceptable amount of time. But still, I gotta say, I am a huge fan of this franchise, and I've never had more fun playing this game than I did while making this video. So yeah, I'm gonna say it was worth it. I had so many people asking me which game in the series was my favorite after replaying them all, and I really thought about it, but in all honesty, I don't think I can choose. I love all 3 games so much. It's like asking me which Lord of the Rings movie was my favorite. I can't just pick one. All 3 Dark Souls games are just one shared experience that I'm just so passionate about. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and if you guys enjoyed, check out the last 2 Dark Souls games I've covered here on my channel if you haven't already.